What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame Deadline Day Edition. I'm Pack. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Pack. Joined by Big Dave Bow, BAWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb, our pal and producer Joey Spathis on the controls. He's at Joey Spathis. We're CHGO_Bulls. In a perfect symbolism for what today was for Bulls fans, gentlemen, there is a torrential downpour loudly falling on the roof of our CHGO studios right now.
The sky is falling.
The sky is quite literally falling.
The sky fell.
we just need some hail, and then this will be a fully completed picture of what today was for Bulls fans.
Has anger dissipated? As Matt has told me a million times, that is his secret. He is always angry.
I'm always angry.
It will never dissipate.
And I thought I was angry as we were wrapping up our deadline show this afternoon, not surprisingly reacting to the Bulls making no trades. And then we all listened to AK talk.
Boo!
And now I'm really freaking angry.
Ooh, it's the thunder hit as soon as
hear that thunder? I mean,
that's awesome.
Yes, the Bulls play the Grizzlies tonight, but I feel like we should use our pregame show as an opportunity to break down what we heard from AK after the deadline passed.
Can I use a second of it to find out who Matty Rice is? Just because I think of you when I see that, and I'm wondering
is someone named Matt who enjoys his rice?
Okay,
or maybe that's just his last
that.
name. I actually have some cousins in my family with the last name Rice.
Really?
Are we related?
Are they in Florida?
Actually, yes, some of them are.
Okay. No wonder we never heard of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. Continue.
Will, where do you want to start, man? Because you were on that Zoom press conference with AK and your fellow Bulls beat members today.
Did a great job.
And may I just say, you and your fellow Bulls beat, credit to you guys, because y'all did a wonderful job pressing AK.
They really did.
With some valid questions. You, Joe, Casey, Julia Poe, Darnell, Cody, Jamal Collier was there asking a question. Like, everyone was asking AK valid questions that I think Bulls fans wanted to hear answers to. We might not have been satisfied with his answers,
correct,
but absolutely you guys did a good job asking him the questions that, oh, dear God.
Keep going.
This is hilarious.
This is the best. Matt's anger is good controlling the weather. His power knows no bounds.
God?
There is
the
no
Bulls
God.
make me angry also.
We're Bulls fans.
That's right.
There is only Hades. As someone who participated in that, Will, what was your biggest oh wow moment of all the things AK said?
There were a handful of them, but I think the main takeaway is just how many times he used the term competitive and staying competitive.
We have a new C word.
And being competitive.
We're done with continuity. It's competitive now.
Woo!
And I mean, so many different people tried to ask in different ways, what does it mean to you to be competitive?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think a lot of people don't really feel like what you guys are right now is competitive.
Yeah.
And he kept on saying what we are right now is competitive. We believe in our group. We have faith that we're going to make the playoffs. We want to make a playoff push. There were moves that were available, but those moves were for us to be sellers, and we didn't want to go that direction. We wanted to be competitive. So pretty much almost every single thing that he said started and ended with, we want to be competitive. X happened. We wanted to be competitive. Or we wanted to stay competitive, so we didn't do this. We wanted to be competitive. And it was just with almost every single comment that he made, it was just pushing this agenda of the team wanting to remain competitive. And I think for me, just like bigger picture, that represents the biggest disconnect between what AK is doing and what it seems like the fans want. And I can't speak for all fans. Obviously, I hear how you guys feel about things and what people are in my mentions, asking me questions, sending me emails on BCC. And for those people, the idea is that what they are right now is mediocre. It's not competitive.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of different reporters tried to ask with that in mind. And AK just said, look, we are square in the middle of this. We're competing with the good teams.
It seemed like a refusal on his part to acknowledge that there is a difference, at least from a passionate fan base, between competitive and not quite mediocre, which is where they actually are right now. And he was just like, no, this is competitive. This is competitive. This is competitive.
They're right in the, you know what?
Oh, and that was the favorite part for me of just watching someone fail out loud. Because one of the many times he was talking about being competitive, and then I think it was Cowley who asked his second question of the interview saying, can you please like define what you mean by that? Because you keep saying competitive, but then you look at the standings, and AK said the standings are everybody's bunched up. I'm looking at the same standings, right? You're 3 wins away from 6th place.
It did thunder when I.
He clearly was not looking at the same standings.
I'm impressive.
AK is not looking at the same standings Bulls fans are looking at because they are not 3 games out of 6th place. They're 5 games out of 6th place. What? Even if it was a slip of the tongue, he meant to say, well, we're only 3 games back at 8th. Are you bragging about that? You bragging about being 3 games back of 8th? Oh, instead of getting 1 chance in the play-in, we'll get 2 chances in the play-in. That's not competitive. You don't know what the standings are? Maybe check the standings before you get on his press conference when you know you're about to get grilled and know where your team is in the standings before bragging about how competitive you are. Is this a freaking joke? Am I tripping balls right now? Did we actually listen to the Bulls vice president of basketball operations trip over himself like that? We've seen plenty and heard plenty of bad, inexcusably illogical press conferences from not just this Bulls executive, but plenty over decades. Yes. This was a special, different layer of, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
What is going on? What are we doing right here?
What are you talking about?
Who are you talking to? You know, it was like listening to somebody who is a GM on 2K. And what I mean by that is when I play 2K, I don't give a damn what the standings are. I'm always thinking I'm 3 games out, if that's what's going on. I don't care. I don't have to play close attention because it doesn't matter who I'm not playing with on a video game. I'm good enough to make Zach LaVine MVP, which I've done. I'm good enough to do those things. So it doesn't matter. It's a video game. I can do whatever. If the person who's in charge should know every small, tiny, intricate detail of what's going on, including the large-ass details that everyone knows what's going on. The information we have available to us is the same information he has available to him, and he has more information than that. The standings are the bare minimum of what you should have available to you. So, excuse me, if he had said 4 games out, I probably would excuse that. You know what I mean? I'd probably be like, slip of the tongue. You know, he just
It's focused. Actually 5.
Yeah, it's actually 5. That's fine. But to be wrong by like 2 is maddening. It's maddening. That's the only word I have for it. It's maddening.
That just, well, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to, actually, I was coming to you.
Oh, great.
And
I'm right here.
What I wanted to say was Will, like I told you all to follow Will Gottlieb while he was putting out these quotes and everything like that. One of my quotes that AK said, which is my favorite, which means it was my worst, quote that he said was, "It's a results-driven business, and I get it. And I'll take responsibility for failures. But at this point, it's very early to say what is success, and what's not success. So, I mean, we have 30 games to go, so we'll see what this team can do."
Even if it were just this season, it's wrong to say it's early because you're 50 games into an 82-game season. But it's not just that. You're 2.5 years into this. Oh, it's too early to tell, y'all. Just going to have to bide my time and see what happens.
We don't know what can happen.
Are you stupid?
Oh, I love how in my brain he was, because that's literally what I was wanted to say.
And to me, it's like,
that's ridiculous.
Again,
man.
Almost all this misses the point, because what he is saying right now is that not only is mediocrity good enough for him, it's that he's happy with it. He's excited by it. That's what he's striving for. He wants to be where they are. Otherwise, you would do something to try to improve. And like, to be that out of touch with what your fans want, I think is just really sad for a lot of fans who want this team to be competing. And a lot of people like have the title or bust mentality. You know, obviously this team is not heading for a championship this year or in the near future.
What?
But I think a lot of people would just be excited about building a team that could like be competitive in the second round of the playoffs.
Yes.
And this team has almost no chance of doing that. I don't want to say no chance, but like you have to win 2 play-in games and win a playoff series now against either the first seed Celtics, or maybe if you can climb out of 9 and into the 8th seed and win that first game, you can play against whoever's the second seed. Like, that's a really tough path to the second round of the playoffs. And that's still not good enough for some people. So, to basically hear him continually banging the drum of like, we're happy with where we are. We believe that this level of competition is good enough. And that is just really discouraging for fans that, even if it's not this year, but at some point want to be competing for real playoff basketball and not just getting, bum rushed by the Celtics in the first round.
That's so much fun, though. Juan Miller in the comments said, I'll be honest, Will's question to AK was weak. Are you regretting that question? If you aren't properly reading the tea leaves, you might think that, or I don't even know why you would think that, but it wasn't a weak question. It was actually a great question, because if you missed it, what Will asked AK was, if you were to feel yourself that the best option here was to take a step back, after AK said, well, we were looking to maybe buy at the deadline, not sell, because we don't want to take a step back. We want to stay competitive. Will, you asked him, if you did think taking a step back was the best move, the right move, would you have ownership's support to do so? AK, would ownership support you if you said to them, hey, let's maybe sell off some pieces right now and pivot towards next season and beyond?
That's a good question.
And basically, in a tricky way, Will got AK to admit that this is all on him, because AK, in his answer to Will's question, confirmed, yes, ownership has given me their full support regardless of which direction I want to go. So plenty of Bulls fans, some of y'all in the comments, some of whom I saw on Twitter today, wanting to pin some portion of this and today's travesty on ownership, which y'all know I am always in favor of, and they bear some responsibility as well. But AK flatly said, I'm not handcuffed by the front office when it comes to these kind of decisions. We all know about the luxury tax thing. That's not today what today was about. Nope. That's not what 3 straight trade deadlines of doing jack shit is about. Will got AK to admit that if he thought pivoting at this deadline was the best move, ownership would support that. And that is an important distinction to make.
I thought you were going to say Jack Squat. Just shouting out our guy Chris Farley.
Jack
there.
Squat.
Jack Squat.
Dude,
sorry, Will.
Somebody needs to be living in a van down by the river pretty soon.
Oh, my God.
Instead of holding a certain office in a certain building across in the United States.
And that's kind of the reporting that we've gotten, is that, this is AK's deal right now. Like, he can go with whatever direction he wants with this. There's been reporting from Joe Cowley at the Sun-Times, from Casey Johnson today and yesterday at NBC Sports Chicago about like AK having support from ownership to do this. And a lot of people are still using this kind of default excuse for AK, which is ownership's never going to let you go for another rebuild because it'll hurt ticket sales. No, that's AK confirmed today that he can go whichever direction he thinks is best. He will have support of ownership. And so basically, we've heard some rumors about what offers were out there for Caruso. Those offers for DeMar, for Drummond, all these guys, those offers, yes, they would have been selling moves, right? Because you're not, as we talked about before on our immediate reaction pod, you're not like getting win now pieces plus picks for your win now pieces. So if you're going to sell those guys, you're going to either have to get picks or you're not going to move them. And so basically, we know that there were some really good offers out there. We know that they didn't take them, but we also know that if they had decided that they should have taken them, that they could have, and they could have started a rebuild because ownership would have been in support of that. But instead, AK decided that he didn't want to go that direction. And so he's going to have to take ownership and accountability for that.
And that's the crazy thing to me when he said in that press conference, as a justification for the Bulls not doing anything, well, it was a buyer's market. It was basically really tough to compete because there are a lot of teams out there right now at this deadline who are trying to be competitive and make a playoff run. And so we didn't see any deals that we thought would make us better that we were willing to, cough up our side of that deal. When in reality, if he had any lick of sense, he would see that as a good thing, because now you're talking about getting several teams to give you their best bids and maybe even one-upping each other in a bidding war if you actually admitted where you and your team are right now and sell the valuable pieces that teams are calling you about. It's a bad thing that it was a buyer's market, and that's why we didn't do anything. Dude, open your eyes. That could have been a good thing to take advantage of today. But no, let's quintuple down on competitive, or at least what he defines to be competitive, with this same group. Really, really good group of guys. Really good group. He really likes the group.
Oh, God.
He really likes this group.
Oh, my God.
It's a really good group.
Don't do that. Oh, my God. This is not 2K. This is not 2K. When you're saying those trades that they wanted, how we wanted competitive players back, hey, just give us one of your young best players that you got and a pick with it. And, of course, you can have what we got. This is not 2K. This is not how this works. It's not how it goes, man. You're giving you assets back that you can use that you don't have on your team to continue to make it better. Excuse me. You don't have this. So they're giving you stuff that you need. It's not like, that they're offloading. They're just giving you trash. They're just like, well, here's some expired deals and move on like that. No, they were literally giving you legitimate offers of players that could still help your team achieve a goal that you are going for. And whether you're going for it or not, it's a goal that is the logical goal that you are going towards right now, which is a play-in. That's the logical goal right there. It's not a top 6 seed. It's the logical goal, man. Look, I'm tired of yelling about this shit. All right? I am. I'm sick of it. And when the game comes on, I'm going to be back to rooting for my team because I want to be excited for Kobe White and the young guys out there. And hopefully they turn it into something. But again, that's the logic you should have as a fan, not as a person that's running a team. You should have a different mindset than I have. All right? You should be out here trying to improve this on a daily basis. This should be your goal, man. It's up to me to root for it and want better for what we're seeing, the product we're seeing on the screen, bro, because I actually pay to get in your stadium. You got a place you can sleep in the stadium. It's yours. It's a different mindset. This was a bad day.
I'll give him a van down by the river.
It was a bad day, bro. It was a bad day for Logic.
We've got to take a quick break. Shout out a couple sponsors. We'll come back with more thoughts. I know we have several super chats to get to. We'll do that. I also wanted to touch on AK's answer about the tricky cap situation that they're in, that he was asked about today, because I was not at all convinced by his answer on that question either. Quite the opposite, in fact. Up shit creek. But it's fine to be up shit creek. We'll worry about that tomorrow. While we're sharing these words for our sponsors, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you're hanging out with us on YouTube. We appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. 250 Bulls fans all commiserating together. Group therapy time. We appreciate you. Tonight's pregame brought to you by Circa Sportsbook, who offer the tight money line splits and use that low hold model. Always striving to have minus 110 odds as their starting point for any game spreads, point over-unders, player props, rather than a lot of other bettors who push those starting odds to 115 or 120 for no gosh darn good reason at all. Just like AK believing in competitiveness of this core. They also keep as little as money as possible on those large market bets, i.e. NBA playoff futures. If you feel like you know what's going to happen, maybe you are a believer like AK is. Maybe you want to throw a bet on the Bulls winning the East, raising that Larry O'Brien trophy. I'm guessing you're getting really good odds if you do that right now. Whichever team you're picking, though, you'll get the best odds always at Circa, who encourage bettors to, of course, download and try that Circa Sports Illinois app. But download and try any sports betting app you want to, because they're confident that more often than not, you'll find better user experience, a better gameplay, better odds, better values at Circa. Download that Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
You know what, Matt Peck? I know you just said, a lot of things right there.
What's that?
But I do want to ask you, sir, just since you're here.
Sure.
What time is it? Yeah.
I mean, it is game time who?
Yes, it is.
But tonight,
I didn't ask for the energy. You heard I asked you, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it is right there. Mm-hmm. You know what?
It's time for something different.
It's time for something. Oh, let me go back. George Mathis, what time is it?
Get up!
There it is. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events nearest you with last minute deals. All in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts. It is not the place. No. It is the place to find last minute seats, find exclusive flash deals, and sponsor deals on tickets for football, hockey, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. And with its own deals, Game Time does the selecting. Oh, I'm sorry. You pick the section, and Game Time does the selecting for what you going to get. Tell them what they're going to get with a drum roll back. Big time savings. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price available, y'all. So take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO, get your wonderful self $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem that code CHGO is what the code is. Redeem it, $20 off is what your wonderful self is going to get. And, of course, I cannot forget, because I must throw in, if you want to get that deal of $100 off of the big game ticket, Game Time users only, because if you're a Game Timer, you get this, use the code VEGAS100, VEGAS 100, Vegas100, get yourself $100 off of that big game ticket. 2 ways to save. That's how they roll out there. I want to call Kevin, but he ain't over here right now. So I'll go to Matt Peck. Right back to you.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
see where we'll check in on you right now. Matt Peck! What time is that? Give that who? A little better. I credit Joey with getting his energy up.
Yeah.
Because Joey was
I needed
prepared.
that.
Yeah,
I needed that Joey Game Time.
Yeah, you need it, man. People need it.
I'm spiraling right
what the
now.
people-
Joey Game Time.
That Joey
Joey
Game Time.
Game Time,
That Joey
yes.
Game Time made me smile.
Joey Game Time. Ty Rose, man.
Rolling along with pregame. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you. Luke with a super chat saying, here's $5. Have to give it up. It's more than the Bulls are willing to do. Derek saying, thank you, local media, for cooking his goofy ass.
Yo, goof ass.
Our friend Matty Rice threw us a super chat saying, AK even said it was a buyer's market. It didn't have any interest in taking advantage of that. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I said.
Year.
Yeah. Luke with another super chat saying, you're telling me the 24 and 27 Bulls can't win a championship? AK said, don't worry, guys. We're going to go 15 and 15 in the last 30 games.
God bless it.
Uncommon Vision with a super chat saying, man, I love how the Bulls are 2 games back of first place. All you got to do is just make up your own math and draw your own standings board,
And it
like
works.
AK did today, apparently. And the Bulls could even be in first place.
That's true.
Guy Finley with a $10 super chat. Appreciate you.
Says Kings waving Rolo.
No.
Bring back Rolo so we can have some entertainment at least.
No. I won't be entertained at all.
They
I love.
missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They are in the play-in.
Yeah.
Again, they are under 500. They
competitive.
missed
Will
the playoffs.
competitive.
I like this comment from
I just
Christian
don't.
Jones.
What he's
Competitive.
doing here?
This is insane and sad.
Thanks, Jake.
God
This
help
is
us.
insane and sad. God help
What you bring,
us.
Jake? What's good?
A beautiful magazine with MJ on the cover.
Ooh, come on, coach.
I'm already too upset.
I'm about to
Jake.
say, let me hold this. This is what I need. Go ahead, Will.
Everything sucks and I'm dying.
Go ahead, Will.
It's just
Joe
pretty-
Harris, save us all.
I told you he was going to get Joe Harris, didn't I?
Yeah.
A guy,
Did
who,
not hear me tell you
who
this.
couldn't get minutes for the Pistons. Yes, he
I'm
will
sorry,
come
Will.
in and save our season.
Sorry, go.
I'm sorry,
go
Will.
ahead.
Yeah, I completely
mean,
cut off the goat. I
that's
did.
okay.
That was actually me. That
Bulls
cut off the
making
goat.
some
But I did too.
low
Like,
key
when I talk
roster
about Joe
addition on
Harris.
the buyout market. Totally happening.
Yeah.
And like talk about history repeating. AK even brought up 14 and 9 in today's press conference. The last season, well, we went 14 and 9 after the All-Star.
Shut up!
You actually still bragging about that? You bragging about that?
Tossed.
You missed the playoffs. We went 14 and 9 last year, and it didn't mean anything. But let's brag about that again. What planet does this guy live on? Because it's not Earth. Yeah, there you go. Okay, here's the other one, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this, Will. And I think it was Cowley who asked this question about the, math not adding up, not in the standings, but with the Bulls cap sheet. Because AK said today, love DeMar, means so much to this organization, the city of Chicago, want to bring him back. Love Pat, praise Pat. Bummed that Pat's hurt right now. He'll come back. We believe in him. Also, we know things are a little weird right now, but love Zach, believe in Zach. He's going to get his surgery. He'll come back. He'll be fine. And Callie was like, so you said that ownership said they'll pay the luxury tax for a championship contending team. This ain't that. And at the very least, AK had to acknowledge that. And then Joe said, I'm no cap expert, but you do the math. You want to keep this not quite mediocre core together this summer, you're going to have cap issues, a.k.a. going above that tax threshold.
Yeah.
And I legitimately cannot believe that AK's answer to that was, quote, I think those conversations are at the end of the season. Right now, our focus is about how we can finish this season and get into the playoffs. Dude, nah! There's a reason you were asked about that at the trade deadline. There's a reason that some Bulls fans who are not NBA executives or cap experts have the wherewithal to be thinking that far down the road. You want to keep this mediocre as hell roster together still? And if you still want to do that this summer, you can't even do that without triggering that luxury tax? And you're saying that's a later problem? No, dude, that's a right frickin' now problem. What are you doing? Because it doesn't appear to be the job of an NBA executive. He literally said, that's tomorrow AK's problem. Dude, no, it's today AK's problem. You can't even afford to keep this bum-ass roster together. What are we doing? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. There it is. I felt the piece of brokenness pop up off of my man right there.
Will, what are your thoughts on
That
this?
part.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one reason for maybe like optimism is not the right word, but if there's one reason to sort of believe in the front office, I think it's that they have done a really good job of basically bringing in talent and staying under the tax. And like, say what you want about that. We can all disagree with it, but like, that's the mandate. If there is a mandate, it's that. And so I think they do a good job of bringing in as much talent as they can, but also staying under. I think JJ Polk, if he's, the primary guy responsible for that, has done a really good job. But I'm just looking at it right now, and obviously there's like a couple of other variables going on. But basically, let's say the Bulls can't trade Zach and they don't wipe Lonzo Ball's contract off their books. Next year, if they want to bring back DeMar, if they want to bring back Patrick, if they want to bring back Drummond, and they want to draft somebody in this draft, which I assume they're going to do, they have to do all that by spending less than $42.62 million. So that means you can bring back DeMar, you can bring back Patrick, you can bring back Drummond, and you get the rookie cap hold, which is going to be like probably $3.5 million for where they're drafting. So let's just call it $39 million for those three players. So that would be $39 million to bring back each of those, all three of those guys. And a lot of people are talking about DeMar's contract being $30 million. So now you're bringing back Patrick and Drummond for $9 million. You've got to make some moves if you want to, even if you just want to run it back. And guys, that is just to run it back. That's to bring back the exact same roster again. We're not even talking about mid-level exceptions or biannual exceptions or veteran minimums. That's literally to have 14 players on the roster and for those 14 players to be the same 14 players you currently have, plus a draft pick. It is not good enough. I don't understand. They're going to have to make a move at some point, and maybe they still feel confident that they can get off of Zach's contract and save some money in doing so. That's probably their only hope at this point. Maybe Lonzo, although I'm pretty skeptical that they get off of that money. And again, that is just to run it back for a fourth straight year.
4 years straight doing the same goddamn thing without no changes.
And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier.
No changes, bro.
But they missed the playoffs last year.
They did.
They're talking about a team that is not good enough to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Get him, Joey.
What do you think? What do you think
Joey.
Come on, Joe.
What do you think we're running back? We're running it back. No playoffs again. Running it back.
And it's like
that's
they have gotten so lucky with the way that Kobe has exploded this year. You're otherwise just looking at
Kobe.
like Zach being injured for all but 25 games this year.
Yeah.
You've got DeMar who's getting old. You've got Vooch who's getting older. You've got Drummond who's like having a renaissance, but he's on the other side of 30. I mean, it's not like they're a young up and coming Thunder team that's like playing with house money right now and they've got 1 million draft picks in the bank. Mm-hmm. They are old and like not getting better. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Go to bed,
And
Grandpa.
it's kind of exhausting trying to figure this thing out because it's like almost everything that I believe in about how a basketball team should run and play, they do the opposite. They don't shoot threes. They post guys up. They run 2 big men at a time. They like don't spend into the luxury tax. They don't switch everything defensively. It's just like everything that I've come to believe in makes a good basketball team. They do the opposite, and it's exhausting.
It's like Stanley talking to Michael about how all of his managerial choices. Everything you do, I would do it the opposite way. Real quick, before our final thoughts on AK's press conference, but for the actual sake of the game that's about to happen, Bulls starting 5, Billy switching back to the small ball, not Drummond in that starting lineup alongside Vooch, like they did against the big T-Wolves front court. So you got Kobe, Ayo, Caruso, DeMar, and Vooch is your Bulls starting 5. The Grizzlies starting 5 is sad and a little funny.
Yawn, gag,
that
and
team
snore.
doesn't have anybody. They do have Jaren Jackson Jr. available. He will be starting, along with Scottie Pippen Jr.
Oh, he's starting?
Starting.
Wow.
Scottie Pippen Jr. starting.
45.
Along with Conchar, Santi Aldama, and Vince Williams.
Salty dog?
Yeah. That's your Grizzlies starting 5.
Long gag, snore,
Yeah.
trash, and
That explains how the Bulls beat this team by 30 a few weeks ago.
Goddamn right.
Because they went from bad to worse as far as their injury report. Last thing that I wanted to touch on, because I think this is at the very core of why Bulls fans are pissed today.
Okay.
This was something that AK said when explaining their lack of moves. Quote, "We didn't see anything that was going to make us better. We would take a step back, which we don't want. We want to stay competitive. We have an obligation to this organization, this fan base, and this city to stay competitive and compete for the playoffs. That's what we're doing." If you actually care, and that's not just lip service, and you aren't tone deaf and oblivious to the fact that most of this fan base is saying to you, hey, this ain't good enough. This does not match our definition of competitive. You said to us a couple years ago, we won't accept mediocrity, and we said, good, don't give us better than that. And today, as you pointed out, Will, he basically said, no, we're accepting mediocrity. Mediocrity's pretty cool, pretty great. Let's continue striving for mediocrity some more. And you also, while saying that, say you have an obligation to this city, this fan base, and this organization. That is just a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face, even if it's lip service and he didn't mean it and he was just trying to put a flowery, little touch on getting grilled by the media for not doing anything today, for not doing anything for 3 years at 3 trade deadlines. You can't say that, man. You can't say you have an obligation to these fans and this city and then say that obligation is to keep not quite being good enough to make the actual big boy playoffs. Because that's freaking gross compared to what this organization was built on. It's just setting the bar so insultingly low to say that that's your obligation to Bulls fans. Because it's not. It is so much more than that. Disgusting.
Yeah, that shit. I don't want to add nothing else to it. It's the goddamn pregame. I'm ready to go watch the actual game and forget that this happened and just enjoy Kobe White on the floor with Ayo Dosunmu. Honestly, that's where my mind is. I'm ready to tune the rest of this trash out. Everything I needed to say, I've gotten out. Beautifully said by you. Wonderfully written by you. I'm good.
Shout out to Reagan who threw us one more super chat. Shout out to everybody who threw us super chats. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us in the chats tonight. We will be back for post game after the Bulls hopefully take care of business against Scottie Pippen Jr. and the Grizzlies. A little bit of bummer news for Bulls fans who may have been hoping to at least get
more? Come on.
D-Rose inactive tonight. He was questionable on their injury report. Maybe that would have been at least a little alleviation of how awful we feel today. Like, oh, hey, buddy, to see D-Rose tie up the shorts, lace him up, and get out there. D-Rose will not play.
As long as he's there, I'm fine. Torrey Craig.
Available.
Okay.
Probably going to see more of a minutes restriction. Sounds like he's still kind of dealing with some soreness since coming back. Dalen also available, who's been out for a while.
Okay.
As is Caruso, as is Kobe, who also were both, they gave Caruso that practice off. Kobe popped up on the injury report with sore ankle. They all got the green light. Kobe and Caruso starting.
All right.
And, Bulls are, other than Pat and Zach, Bulls are healthy.
Druid says, see everyone back here for postgame. Thank the good Lord for the CHGO crew. No, Druids, thank the good Lord for y'all. All right? For sitting here and listening to us rant and be angry. And not only doing that, but understanding it and feeling us at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what the most important thing about it is. So many texts I got saying thank you for what you guys did on the trade deadline because you all really tapped into how we were feeling. I'm glad we can do stuff like that for you, y'all. Seriously.
The group therapy helps us too.
Yes.
For real.
We can't do it without y'all. Promise you. I promise you.
All right, let's go watch some basketball, I guess.
Let's do it, man. Let's go watch ball.
Let's watch the Bulls be competitive. New word of the day. New word of the year. New word of the decade.
Constipation.
Goodbye, continuity. Hello, competitive. Oh, my God. Freaking shoot me. We'll talk to y'all for
I saw him win.
Hit the like. Shout out to our producer, Joe. Follow Will for his in-game updates, Will_Gottlieb. Bye.
Bow. We out.